Hi, this is on Imagination with a Healing Garden. I was just writing my newsletter and I struggle with this. And I realized what I'm struggling with. And I'm like, oh, so that's what I'm struggling with. So let me explain. I'm not a fiction author. Wait, I'm in the abstract. I got to switch that around. I'm not a nonfiction writer. I'm what you would call a fiction writer. And when you have the truth, you have a way of measuring each and every lie, all of them. And some of them are really fucking big. Some of them are like vast. And then you go, oh. And suddenly, all the authors in all of the world who figured this out before you, all of their books make sense. Not just make sense, but based upon their level of writing, what they're writing about, and the message they're delivering, you can tell exactly where in the abstract they are when they wrote it. And I've done this with every book I have read, where I'm like going through and I'm like, there you go. Oh, there's that person. And ironically, the people I hate were the ones who are massively more advanced than I. So C.S. Lewis was Lewis Carroll was the first, oh my God, I hate his book, until I got to a certain point and went, oh, that's why it didn't make sense. Now, Arthur C. Clarke, I loved his work. And that was never a problem for me. That's weird. That Arthur C. Clarke, I loved. But he and Lewis Carroll were at the same place. But there's one author I have fucking hated until now. And then I went, oh, he's really in here fucking deep. Wow, he's deeper than Christ. Wow. Oh, Narnia makes, all of Narnia suddenly makes so much more sense. So I owe C.S. Lewis a huge apology because fuck damn. This guy is at the 36th level of consciousness, at the point of comprehension, and is 8 expansions out from it, which is where I am now, which is how I was able to recognize his work and go, oh, now it makes sense. So far today, that puts C.S. Lewis at the very end of all of this. I have yet to read Tolstoy. I'm dying to read Tolstoy to see where he falls. But like Ayn Rand is the 8th perspective. C.S. Lewis is the 44th level in. Like if you include all the expansions with it. It's fucking crazy. And Christ went silent about a handful of perspectives ago. He went quiet, which meant, okay, so I've maxed out Christ. Who else do we have here? Cervantes. Cervantes was at like the 36th level. You get to the point of comprehension and suddenly you realize, oh, Don Quixote is a true story. Well, that makes sense now. And this is where things get real complex, because this is what I realized. I'm sitting here writing my newsletter and I'm like reporting out. I get into my newsletter and I'm like, I don't want to write another newsletter. I fucking hate newsletters. And I'm like, and I had this massive pull to just, Anna, tell your story. Yes, that again. Tell my story. And I went, why am I not speaking in story? And then it just dawned on me that, once upon a time, there was the real world. Oh, we got the, we really should not have played house. Stop playing house, people. Stop playing house. Stop doing it. Children manifest that shit, and suddenly it's real life. And suddenly we're stuck going, shit, I manifested this shit. Don't let your children play house. It's very dangerous. Fucking dangerous. So at some point, all of the imagination people, all of the changelings, decided it would be fun to pretend to be normal. So they pretended to be normal, kind of like playing house, until they forgot which side was real. So suddenly, you basically, we all got stuck in a logic loop of playing house. That's what all this turns out to be. So I'm sitting here going, oh, Oh, you mean we're supposed to live in story? Oh, that makes sense. Narnia is the story. And in order to get here, you have to go through philosophy. But no one's going through philosophy. They're picking up the book going, oh, this is a nice book. This is about the cover. Let's talk about the cover. Let's talk about the fonts that they use. But no one's reading the book. I read the book. And when you read the book, you go through the book, which is like through the wardrobe. And I'm like, oh, I get that metaphor now. It's literally through the wardrobe so that when you come out, boom, you're in the story. Oh, we are the story, which explains why the longer I'm here, the more I've got to switch over to story mode, which is why I come to you as a storybook character, because we're story people. We're our literal story. Literally, we're literally story. Oh, this makes so much more sense. And someone somewhere, and here's the thing, is you're either in the story or you're on the outside. God, that fucking sucks. And that's the material plane. The material plane are the people on the outside reading the story. Or you can be in the story. So I'm in the story. So I had this massive, do I owe C.S. Lewis an apology? So then I sat down and I wrote it all out. And I went, no, I got to tell this in story. So I went over into my once upon a place outside of time, which is how I begin my stories. And, well, there wasn't just one God. You see, that one God was a cell. And cells split. It's called mitosis. So then the one becomes two. I am one of two. I am two. I am two. So, and two is the first story. And, well, they changed our story because someone got a hold of the logical code, and then they figured out how to be the author, and then they started to rewrite the story. And the first thing they did was they erased two. Oh, that pissed me off. That pissed me off. They erased two. So there was just one then. But there's like so much more to the story. There is so much more to the story. And I went, and then I heard her, tell your story. Yes, this is the story I'm supposed to tell. Took me a while to get here. If you've been with me for a while, you know how long that's been. Like 10 years of just tell your story, just tell your story. Just what the fuck does that even mean? Now I know. So I've decided to use my newsletter as I'm just going to write my chapters because that's what I do. And then I'm going to come here and I'm going to blog about this shit because that'd be fucking awesome, right? Oh my God, would that be fucking awesome? How cool would it be if Sanderson sat there and wrote a chapter and then stepped in and said, oh yeah, I got to tell you about the book I'm writing right now. And I'm like, why the fuck aren't authors doing this? Because authors are usually introverts, which is why they're authors. But I'm not, because I'm different, because I'm theater and stage also. So it works for me. I'm going, oh, that's right. This works beautifully. And I'm in the abstract. So this whole thing just came together. And I'm like, what am I going to call this? Imagination, the sentient story. Oh, my God, yes. Things are happening in my brain right now, and I'm putting them in logical comprehension order. Now I'm like, oh, that's why logic matters to me so much, is because I'm a sentient story. That matters. That makes sense now. So in the abstract, everything is backwards. You see the oldest thing first, and you see the youngest thing. So the present is the newest, and the future is the oldest. And so you can sit there and talk to the oldest version of yourself. Once you get here, it's fucking a trip. So you're sitting there talking to the oldest version of yourself. I'm a smartass. Oh yeah, am I a And she says back to me, well, you are that stubborn. Yes, we are. So this is where I need my sock puppets. So I have to tell the story backwards from the beginning, which is also the end, because the present is going toward it and the future is coming toward it. And there's going to be that beautiful point where everything comes together right at that moment, Good God, I hope it's soon. I believe it's going to be August 1st. Because I had a dream and it said on August 1st, that's when I didn't have to wait anymore. And I'm going, okay. So, and I can feel it. It's now coming this way and I'm going this way and it's all coming to this head. So I don't understand any of this. I just know I've got to follow it. So I'm living the story of the present. Well, I'm going to write the story of the future backwards. So you can say that this is the present, but the book is the future. Yeah, that's right. You heard me. And you can like follow along and see how they come to a point right at the dead center. This is going to be so fucking awesome because then I get to show you what it's like to be in my world. Then I get to show you what it's like to be in my world. I think I finally found a way to communicate what this is like, where I can sit here and live the present out and also see the future. And as it comes together, and then you're going to see it go, boing, and then it's going to go this way. And that is when this whole thing is going to get reversed because we're on a fulcrum. That's right. That's how this shit's going down because it's a story. And I thought it'd be really fucking cool to write it this way. So I did because, you know, when you got the logical code, you can pull shit like this off all the time. So that's what I did. This is how I play riddles. All right. So this is going to be really fucking weird. So my newsletter is writing the future backwards to the present. And my podcast is going to be me living the present into the future. Oh, yes. This is going to be so fucking awesome. I cannot wait. And then we're going to get to the point of mirror, which is what I refer to as Plato's point. And when we get to Plato's point, well, that's when shit's going to hit the fan. All right. See, this is why I had to be in the cave for like 3 or 4 days. All right. Yep. So I'm probably going to like do something in the back to make this look more like a ship's captain thing because, oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. It's going to be a thing. Very excited about this. Really need to water my plants because they look sad. All right, I'm going to write my stories. Oh, and this is the best part. I have another story that leads up to this moment that's like the pre-story. I'm going to call it a prequel, but it's actually written in the right order. So I have the prequel like 20 chapters on. Oh my God, you can read the fucking prequel. Wow, this turned out to be fucking awesome. I didn't even plan on that one. I mean, not the present self. The future self did and sent me the messages from the future so that the present self would be obedient and do what it needed to do so that this point would make a lot more sense. So I have a prequel of all of this. That's literally 21 chapters. So at 21 chapters, boom, it ignited the next book. Oh yeah, this is how this is fucking done. This is the kind of shit that you write from this point of view because it's really fucking awesome. All right, I'm good. I'm very good. This is amazing. I'm going to see you on the flip side. Thank you. This has been an imbroglio. May the kindest of words always find you.